Alright class, it's week 16 and lecture number 46. In the last class we were discussing about functions, right? And we have completed the whole topic, that is chapter number 5 from the new book till exercise 5.5, right? Now in today's class we are going to start the new topic, and that is called trigonometry. Now what we had learned about trigonometry is that we apply trigonometry in a right angle triangles, and there are three working formulas and we interpret them so, ka, tua, right? And there are three sides, we call them hypotenuse, opposite and adjacent. These are the things that we had learned so far, but now in Addmath we are going to discuss in detail a bit more, right? So before proceeding to the topic trigonometry, let me draw a right angle triangle. It's 90. This side is 1, this side is 1, and angle is 45 degree. We can find out the length of hypotenuse by using Pythagoras, and it will be under root 2. Now from the given triangle, can you find out the values of sine 45, cos 45 and tan 45? So sine is what? Sine is opposite divided by hypotenuse. Opposite is 1 and hypotenuse is under root 2. Similarly for cos, adjacent divided by hypotenuse, and for tangent, opposite divided by adjacent. So these are the values at 45 of sine, cos and tan. You should note it down in your working copies. Similarly, let's suppose we have a triangle, right angle triangle again. This side is root 3, it's 1, and the hypotenuse it's 2. It's 60 degree, and this one of course 30 degree. From this triangle you need to find out sine 30, cos 30, tan 30, sine 60, cos 60 and tan 60. So you should first do it by yourself, and you have approximately a minute, so start. Done. So if we talk about sine 30, so if this angle is 30, that means opposite is 1 and hypotenuse is 2. For cos 30, adjacent root 3 divided by hypotenuse 2, and for tan 30 it's opposite divided by adjacent. For sine 60, opposite divided by hypotenuse, cos 60 adjacent divided by hypotenuse, and tan 60 opposite divided by adjacent. So these are the important values of sine, cos and tan at the angle of 45, angle of 30 and angle of 60. These are the basic values of the trigonometric functions that we should know without the help of calculator. We can find out such values just by simply the drawing of these two triangles and just apply the working formulas of sine, cos and tan. So moving on, now there are three more working formulas that we are going to use in Addmaths. First one, sine 90 minus theta is equals to cos theta. Second, cos 90 minus theta is equals to sin theta. Tan 90 minus theta is equals to 1 over tan theta. Write down these working formulas in your copies. You have 20 seconds. Done. So these are the three important identities, or you can say working formula, that we will use in Addmaths. And how you apply them? Let's suppose I say cos 60, and I need to know that cos 60 is equals to how much of sine, right? So I will apply the identity that cos theta is equals to sine 90 minus theta. The value of theta in my case is 60, so it's cos 60 is equals to sine 90 minus 60, which proves that cos 60 is equals to sine 30. Now you can verify it with your calculator, and we can verify from here as well. Sine 30 is 1 over 2 and cos 60 is 1 over 2. So these two values are same. So we can use this property if you want to find out the unknown angle in sine, or the given angle is cos, right? So you must learn all these three working identities, and the best way for learning is that you can write each property 5 times, so it will be learned by itself very easily. Moving further, so these are the three important properties that we will use in the question, so make sure that you know these properties very well. Now in trigonometry of Addmath, there are two things, one we called theta and one we called base angle. Now I need your attention because this thing is important, very important. Now what is base angle? There are some rules for base angle. It should be always with x-axis, right? It should be always with x-axis, the first one. The second one, it should be always acute angle. I expect that all of you must be aware with the terminology acute, which indicates that it should be less than 90 degrees, right? If we talk about theta, always measures from positive x-axis and anti-clockwise direction. Is positive, clockwise direction is negative. Now what is the meaning of these points I will explain in a bit, but up till now you need to write down these two important factors of the theta and the base angle in your notebooks. Note it down. Done. Alright. Now in Addmath, we will study the concept of quadrants, or you can refer them as general angles. Now what are quadrants? These are the quadrant, that is your first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant and fourth quadrant. Now we will write some alphabets in those quadrants: A, C, T, S. But I am saying that X, A, C, T, S. And what this X represent here, A means all positive. Now what do you mean by all? All means all functions like sine, cos, tan, they all are functions. C means only cos is positive, T means tan is positive, and S means sine is positive. So that is a very important quadrant concept that you need to know when you are attempting a question of trigonometry. In first quadrant all the functions are positive, in second quadrant only sine is positive. Now only sine is positive means that cos and tan is negative in this quadrant. In the third quadrant we have only tan positive, and in the fourth quadrant we have only cos positive. So note it down. Then alright, now let's attempt some examples at what is the meaning of these quadrants and what are alpha and theta, what we had discussed above. Suppose that in a question I'll say that base angle, that is alpha represented by the symbol alpha, this one, base angle. Base angle alpha is equals to 30 degree. Find theta in all quadrants. Right? So that is the first basic question, that what is alpha and what is theta. At first I will make all the four quadrants. Now for alpha we know that it will always make with the x-axis, so I will make alpha, that is angle 30, in all four quadrants. It's angle 30, that is angle 30, and this one angle 30. Now if you have a question why cannot we make this angle theta, alpha, sorry, so I have told you that alpha always makes with the x-axis, right? So these all angles are made from the x-axis. That is the property of alpha. The question says that we need to find theta in all the quadrants. Now for the first quadrant, if I represent theta, so it starts from the x-axis, this one. Always measures from the positive x-axis, number 1 point. That means if I talk about the first quadrant, starting from the positive x-axis, it's anti-clockwise, that means it's positive. So I will move in this direction. So that is theta for the first quadrant. So my answer, my first answer is theta is equals to 30 degree, and that is for first quadrant. For the second quadrant I will start from the same positive x-axis. For the second quadrant the required angle theta is this one. That what I need to find out, that is theta for the second quadrant. So what should this angle will be? Let's suppose if you start from this point and covered a distance, covered an angle till this point, that means you had covered 180 degree, right? Starting from this point until this point, this angle is 180. But we don't need that 30 part because we are looking for the green marked angle. So theta for second quadrant is equals to 180 minus 30. It's 150 degree. That is a theta for second quadrant, right? Similarly, if I need to find out theta for third quadrant, now we know that it always starts from the positive x-axis and in anti-clockwise because we are looking for the positive theta. Now if we move from the positive x-axis till the third quadrant, that means this angle we need to find out, right? Now what we need to do, let's say if starting from the x and till this point we covered an angle of 180, right? We need a further of 30 degree to reach this line, that is equals to 180 plus 30, and the answer is 210 degree. That is the theta for third quadrant. Similarly, theta for fourth quadrant. Now if you start from the positive x-axis, starting from this and cover a whole circle, right? That means you had come up with the 360 degree. But we need to find out from this point until this point. That means this 30 we covered extra. So we will subtract the 30 degree from 360 and the answer is 330 degree. I know it is a bit confusing and you are learning it for the first time. So if it is not clear to you, no need to worry about, right? We are going to attempt more questions, so no need to worry about. Just note down the solution and keep up approximately. If you say, sir, I got 10% of it, then it is more than enough for me. Inshallah, next question you will cover the more than 50% and you will get the idea that how we are finding the theta with the help of alpha. But before that, you need to note it down, and for that purpose I am giving you the time of 20-25 seconds to start. Done? Alright. Now the same type question, in this time I will say that base angle is 10 degree, find theta in all quadrants. So you need to try it first and then I will explain, and for that question I will give you approximately 90 seconds to start. First, draw the axis, highlight the base angle like I have done in the previous question, and then mark the angle theta in all the quadrants. Alright class. So what I will do first, I will draw the base angle in all four quadrants starting from the first one. I am just drawing my picture a bit large so that it will be easy for you to understand that how I am marking my angles. It's a positive x-axis and that is positive y-axis. The first step remains same, that you need to mark your angle, base angle, in all the four quadrants. So for the first quadrant, that is your base angle 10. For the next one, this one, third and fourth. So first step done, and I'm just writing down the steps here. First step, mark base angle alpha. Now you have marked your base angle alpha. Now the next step, mark theta in first quadrant. Because I am starting with the first quadrant, so I'll write that mark theta in first quadrant. So theta in the first quadrant, you know that always start from the positive x-axis in an anti-clockwise direction. So for the first quadrant, theta is equals to 10 degree, right? Theta for the first quadrant. After that, theta for the second quadrant, starting from the positive x-axis and move towards the second quadrant. That means you need to find out this angle marked in green. Now if I covered from the x-axis until this point, that means I will cover 180 degree, and among those 180, this 10 degree is not of my use, so I will subtract 10. It gives me the value of theta, that is 170 degree. Alright class. Now for the third quadrant, starting from the same positive axis, moving into the third quadrant. Up till now I had covered 180 degree up till now, and I need a more of 10 degree. So the value of theta, it will be 180 plus 10 gives you the value of 190 degree, that is your theta. And for the last, let's suppose starting from the positive x-axis, moving a whole circle, so it gives me value of 360. But I don't need this 10 because I need to reach till this line present in the fourth quadrant. So it will be theta is equals to 360 minus 10, and that is equals to 350 degree. So that's how you find the angle theta in the respective coordinate. Note down the solution if your solution is not right, and you have 20 seconds to note it down. Done? Alright. Now I hope that now you have clear idea how we are solving the question. So one more practice question so that you can easily do that. Theta is equal, sorry, not theta, alpha is equals to 50 degree. Find theta in third and fourth quadrant. Now you don't need to find out theta in all the fourth quadrant because I limit it on two coordinates only, third and fourth. So you have a minute to try this question by yourself first, and then I will explain. Done? Alright. First I will plot the axis. Right? Since I need to find the angle in only third and fourth quadrant, so I will draw the line in only third and in only fourth quadrant. That is my positive x, positive y. I'm going to highlight the alpha first. That angle is alpha, its value 50 degree, and this angle is alpha, its value is 50 degree. Now I will highlight the angle theta. Starting from the positive x-axis, moving in an anti-clockwise direction, so that is my angle theta, right? Now, if you start your journey from here and covers an angle till this point, that means you had covered 180 degree. You still need to cover this angle, and that angle is 50, so 180 plus 50, that is equals to 230 degree, right? Similarly, for the second angle, starting your journey from this point and covers, if you cover the whole journey till here, that means you had covered 360 degree, right? It's a complete circle, but we don't need that 50 part, so I will remove it. So it will be 360 minus 50 gives you the value of 310 degree. Now I hope that all of you are clear in the topic of alpha and theta and the concept of quadrants. Alright? Make sure that we are moving in an anti-clockwise direction when theta is positive. I'm just writing it down. Theta positive, it means that anti-clockwise. I'm not writing about the theta negative, so you might be confused. It's better to learn only one point, so the other is the reverse of the first one, right? So theta is positive when the direction is anti-clockwise. It is very important. Alright. Now if I ask you a simple question, if I say that theta is equals to 220 degree, find alpha. It's a very simple question, common sense or IQ based question, you can say that. So give it a try by yourself first, and then I will explain. You have 30 to 40 seconds for this question, so start. You need to sketch the angle 220 degree first, so that you can find the value of alpha easily. Alright, I hope that you have come up with an answer. First thing, I need to highlight that where should the angle 220 be? It is in first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant or fourth quadrant, where it should be. So if your answer is third quadrant, then you are right. Angle 220 should be lie on third quadrant. So I will make a line. I will highlight the angle. This angle is 220. We need to find out the angle alpha. That means we need to find only this angle alpha, right? So how you can find it? It's very simple. 220 from the positive x-axis till this point, and we know that this angle here is 180. So if you subtract 180 from 220, you will be left with angle alpha, and that is 40 degrees. So that's how you can find out the value of alpha if theta is known, right? One more question and you need to attempt this one. So let's suppose theta is equals to 310 degree. Find alpha. Do it. Done? Now I expect you all have done thing like this. 310 means it must be in fourth quadrant. That is your angle theta. It's 310. You need to find the angle alpha. That means it's unknown. So alpha is equals to 360 if you cover the whole minus 310. So it's 50 degree. That is your angle alpha. Right? I hope that all of you have done the same. Now, last question of today class, and the question says alpha is equals to 30. Find theta in clockwise direction. So first you need to do it by yourself and then I will explain. Alright class. Now it says clockwise direction, and clockwise means now theta should be negative. So at first I will highlight the alpha 30 in all the quadrants. 13, 30, 30 and 30. But the direction of theta is clockwise. Now you won't start upwards, you will start like this. For the fourth quadrant, theta is equals to minus 30 degree. For the fourth quadrant, keep in mind, quadrants does not change whether you are moving clockwise or whether you are moving anti-clockwise. They are constant. For the fourth quadrant, theta is minus 30. For the third quadrant, this one, theta is equals to minus 150. And why it is minus 150? Take a close look. From this point to this point, you had covered an angle of minus 180. So your equation is minus 180 plus 30. It leads to minus 150. For second quadrant, theta is, now it's minus 180 and minus 30, so minus 210. And for the last part, theta is minus 330. So that's how you find out the value of theta if it is moving in clockwise direction, right? So I think that is quite enough for today class, and trust me class, today is one of the important class of the topic trigonometry. We had discussed the most important concept in today class, and that is to find out the angle in different coordinates. In the next class it will be more easy if you grasp the today concept and you can apply them easily in your book questions, right? So it's time to say goodbye. Take care, Allah Hafiz, and make sure that when you attend the next lecture, you have gone through this lecture of today's class. Right? So take care and Allah Hafiz.